Mr. President and members, I rise in my inaugural remarks on this great Senate floor to honor a very distinguished educator. And it's a story that actually began 40 years ago. As you may recall, 2 weeks ago today, I was sworn in to this great body, and I had the opportunity to talk about the people who were very important in my life. And high on that list were the many public school teachers that affected me and gave me guidance and direction. And I talked about Mrs. Verlinde, and I talked about Ms. Martine and Mr. Davidson, and Mr. Lakoya and Mr. Fong and Mr. Coombs. And thanks to the good work of my small but very dedicated staff, Steve Harmon in particular, he was able to reach out to the Sacramento Unified School District to see if these teachers from 40 years ago could be found. And lo and behold, they found someone who was so important to me in my life, and he is here today. His name is Jim Coombs, and he's joined by his wife, Marilyn. And let me tell you a little bit about Jim. He was a 1957 graduate of McClatchy High. I was the class of '75. He was student body president and sports editor. He went on to get a degree from Stanford University and a teaching credential from our great Cal State University, San Luis Obispo. And he was a teacher of history and journalism and a great counselor. In fact, he was the organizer of the Humanities Magnet that we have at McClatchy today. And Mr. Coombs, and it's hard to call him Jim, Mr. Coombs made a huge difference in my life. His gentle guidance and suggestions, as he did for me, he did for so many other students that he worked with at McClatchy during those 38 years. In fact, our Chief Sergeant of Arms was telling me this morning how excited she was as a graduate of McClatchy because she remembered very clearly the interactions that she had with Mr. Coombs and the guidance that he gave personally to her and how it affected her life. And I know there's so many thousands of these young people that will remember the great work of Mr. Coombs. But by honoring him today, I know that we're also recognizing those public school teachers and counselors who are helping so many millions of our Californians every day. They are so important in the lives and the development of our young people. So members, I ask you to join me in thanking and in honoring a very distinguished educator, Mr. Jim Coombs.